head to the north side, where the Padres are now tied with the Dodgers for first in the NL West and have a chance to take sole possession of the division with a win over the Cubs, coupled with the Dodgers' loss to the Angels. That is tonight. And with this team off to its best start in franchise history, things should be as interesting as we predicted prior to the season. So, Hannah, is this division completely up for grabs right now?
Okay, so I thought about interpreting this incredibly pedantically and just being like, yeah, we're 62 games through the season. The Diamondbacks could win it. But it's true. So I looked into it on Fangraphs. They do the postseason predictions. They update them every day. They have so the odds are based on what has happened thus far and the schedule going forward. And the NL West is the only division in which no team has a greater than 50% chance right now of winning their division. The Dodgers have like a 49% chance of winning, but everywhere else, it's significantly bigger gap sort of between the team that's already in the lead and looks to be the best and is likely to win the division. And yeah, it's the Dodgers at 49. I think it's the Padres at 30-something. And then the Giants at like 11%. But I feel like that's because projection systems don't love the Giants. That's what happened last year. I don't know how you do that. Honestly, if you're a person who does these projections, I want to know, what do you do if you didn't project the Giants to win that last year and then they won, what was it, 107 games, and then
pretend like you didn't project.
Well, no, but how do you take that into account for this year? Are you still just like, hey, I think they're going to do however I projected them to do last year? Or what does that look like?
I guess you just stand by the numbers. You trust the process.
I mean, I like this right now. I like the fact that there are 3 teams that we're looking at like, hey, it is up for grabs. It can't always be the Dodgers. Obviously, the Giants last year won 100 games. Good. We have no idea. That's the fun of the whole chase and the race of 162. We don't know. And with the Walker Buehler injury, and Dave Roberts' comments about his own team, and he's the same guy that said his own team would win the World Series this year. Like, I like this. It's storylines. It makes it a little more interesting to feel like, okay, maybe now the Padres, who are getting one of the best players in the world back, can challenge and be in first place. It's all really close, so that's cool.
Yeah, and Rec, in my opinion, obviously the Padres a lot stronger this season, especially when you're talking about health, especially when you factor in the return of Tatis Jr.
Yeah, and then you could talk about the fact that they have a new skipper in Bob Melvin who's done this before, and he knows what it takes to get to the playoffs. He knows what it takes to get through 162, be on top of a division. So, yeah, this team is primed. They have all the starting pitching that they need. They're getting great pitching. Young guys like Mackenzie Gore. He stumbled in his last outing, but he's been great so far this year. They've got all the pieces. The back end of that bullpen, maybe they could add a few, but getting Fernando Tatis back, and I think the biggest thing, as was mentioned, Walker Buehler's injury, that's going to be significant. It's going to be 2 to 3 months of time probably before we see him back on a mound in a Dodgers uniform. So just based off that alone, this Dodgers team, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. It's going to be tough for them, not necessarily to make the playoffs. I still think they will, obviously, but I think it's going to be tough for them to run. They're not going to run away with this division by any means. The Giants are still there. That Giants team is as talented as anybody offensively. They just keep finding guys, plugging guys in, and they keep producing. And from as far as the pitching side, they've got some guys who have been, not producing to the level they expected. And Alex Wood, DeSclafani, who's been hurt a little bit. So when you talk about that, they get these guys back and going, they could make a run. You never can count them out. So yeah, this division's wide open. And as Keith said, that's awesome. I mean, I think this is great for baseball. It's great for the NL West. And it's just going to be fun to watch. And you've had, actually, the Diamondbacks and Rockies have outperformed what people thought, too, at least to this point. So it's been really, really good division.
If I can add this quickly, the Dodgers always go for it at the deadline. They always add a player. They're always trying to improve so that they can make the push. We've seen the Padres in the offseason make moves and add players. The Giants added Jock Peterson. So, like, all 3 of those teams at the top, expect them to be buyers at the trade deadline. They're all going to be trying to get better, and they're going to be competing against each other to kind of play keep away. Like, no, we got this guy, so you can't get him. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be really wild, but with the expanded postseason format, it's going to be interesting who's actually available, because teams who are normally sellers may just be holding on to their guys in hopes that they might make that last-minute push.